With the holidays fast approaching, chances are many of you will have to deal with the real monster of the festive season, Krampus. Hangovers? Okay, well they're bad too, I guess. But no matter how much you may overindulge this holiday season, chances are that your morning regrets won't come close to the epic hangovers endured by some of our favourite video game characters. Please enjoy, watch out for minor spoilers ahead for the following games, and also Krampus, for pity's sake, he's coming! It's Krampusnacht is soon, with the Rootin' Bundles, the bird. Don't get your hands off me! Why won't anyone believe me? Krampus, it's got to you too! How much did he pay you? Is Krampus blood money? It's all over you, I can tell. You're a part of the shadowy Krampus.
A few drinks, a few laughs, and a contest. What could be better?
We generally try and avoid drinking contests, especially after what happened at last year's Outside Xbox Christmas party. I think. I can't really remember. You'd think though, when you're the Dragonborn, hero of legend, owner of a fancy horned helmet, and able to shout enemies into the sun, you'd be able to hold your mead. So when you're challenged to a drinking contest by the singularly unimpressive looking Sam Gwiven, you've got to think you're going to win it hands down. Well, bad luck, because after just 3 drinks, it's not just hands down, it's arms down, legs down, and yes, face down on the floor of the tavern, because you have both A, lost, and B, passed out.
Hey, you don't look so good.
First row dough, more like. However, as bad as the drinking is, it's nothing compared to the hangover. You awake to find yourself in a temple you've apparently wrecked during the previous night's festivities, staffed by a priestess who, justifiably, isn't super happy to see you.
I see. So you don't remember fondling the statuary then? I'm guessing you also don't remember coming in here and blathering incoherently about marriage or a goat.
What follows is you attempting to piece together the events of last night to figure out just what the hell happened. You discover along the way that your night involved fondling statuary, stealing goats, and attempting to marry a hagraven, a creature about as attractive as the name hagraven makes it sound.
Darling, I've been waiting for you to return.
Eventually you discover that this whole escapade was the work of Sam himself, who turns out to be Sanguine, the Daedric prince of hedonism and debauchery, and who transforms into his true form, which looks like Darth Maul's harder older brother. Or to put it another way, he just got Sith-faced, whereas you got...
No.
Okay.
I haven't been so entertained in at least 100 years.
Cool, well I'm glad you had fun, Sam. Now I have to give my hearth firehouse to a hagraven in a really messy divorce. This is worse than the Outside Xbox Christmas party. I expect.
Good morning, Vault 76. This is the Overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept.
Unlike most of the vaults in the world of Fallout, Vault 76 was genuinely built to house and protect the people who would rebuild civilization.
Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest.
Whereas the other vaults were built to... what were they for again? To produce skeletons in vault suits? That's gotta be it. The premise of Fallout 76 is that Reclamation Day has finally come, and after 25 years underground, it's time for you, O Vault 76 dweller, to stride out into the wasteland and start reclaiming it.
We stand together, knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
Except the first day of the rest of your now above ground life isn't off to a flawless start. You had such a good time at last night's Reclamation Eve party that you've overslept by what must be several hours, waking up bleary-eyed and woozy-headed to find everyone else has vacated Vault 76 and has run off to reclaim civilization without you. All the good civilization will have been taken by now. Oh, thanks for waking me up, guys. It's like living together in a hole for 25 years meant nothing. It must be one of history's all-time great hangovers if it made you late for the one mission you've spent a quarter of a century training for. That would explain the dry mouth, pounding head and full body achiness I've got going on. Although so would this radiation poisoning. Man, this Reclamation Day sucks. I'm going back in the vault.
For now, let's drink some. Forget about market.
It was drink that started all this.
We'll just have a couple. Settle you down, then head back, okay? Okay.
There wasn't much to do to entertain yourself back in 1899. There was the newfangled Magic Lantern show, of course.
There's a whole mess of critters out there in the woods that aim to eat us, so I'm gonna consume them first. Yes, sir. He really took to killing all manner of things.
Okay, maybe not bad. How about that game where you stab yourself repeatedly in the hand?
Let's go. Come on. No, damn it. Oh.
Not bad either. Oh, I know. How about the ever-popular activity, America's pastime, antagonizing Uncle?
You're just dead wood now, Uncle.
You add an insult to injury?
Ah, that's the stuff. That said, you can only do that for a solid hour and a half tops. So, what to do with the rest of your time? Well, if you're anything like Arthur Morgan, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 2, the answer is go drinking with your good buddy Lenny, an activity that starts off innocently enough.
Just one or two, right, Arthur?
Of course, just a drink. No big drama. Can we get a couple beers, please?
Before taking a decided turn towards drunkenness as more and more whiskey becomes involved.
That's great, partner.
And then a hard left into attempted murder. And I think we've all been here after one too many, am I right?
Get lost, buddy.
Shut up, mister! Yeah, shut your mouth, mister.
With a drinking session this epic, you have to expect an equivalently epic hangover, and Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't disappoint, with Arthur waking up in jail and then Lenny getting reacquainted with his breakfast on the steps of the sheriff's office. Awful. Plus now, I've lost the moral high ground with Uncle. What am I going to berate him about now?
Here he is. Worst pimp in the history of the world.
Oh yeah, that'll work, I suppose.
The sooner you answer our questions, the better the odds we don't miss a bottle and evaporate your face.
Okay, stop! Okay, please.
For us, hangovers aren't just about pounding headaches and churning nausea, they're also about powerful feelings of regret for your actions of the night before. By that metric, pretty much the entirety of the game Bulletstorm is a dreadful hangover for lead character Grayson Hunt, who begins the game with some extremely spirited drinking.
Have another drink, Gray. It'll help your aim.
Please! When you're in deep space, you get to decide when it's 5 PM. Unfortunately, the alcohol probably played at least a tiny part in Grayson's decision to attack enormous Confederate warship, the Ulysses, with his own piddling pirate ship.
Christmas come early, boys. We got us some mass murdering piece of shit out there waiting on us to deliver some reparation.
We're with you, Gray. Serrano hung us all out to dry.
I ain't dry no more.
No, you're drunk.
Then, in his boozy wisdom, he decides to ram the Ulysses with said piddling ship, perhaps forgetting his spaceship is probably designed to be most effective when it retains its structural integrity and isn't exposed to the lethal vacuum of space. I mean, the most embarrassing thing I've ever done when drunk is breaking into my own house through an open window while wearing fishnet hold-ups, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. Halloween 2008. It's a long story. Grayson lands on the planet of Stygia, presumably with a splitting headache that's as much the booze as it is the violent crash landing. And does he learn his lesson? Well, the fact that he ends up in a nightclub mere hours later suggests not.
Burn!
Man, I guess it's unhappy hour for that guy. Of course, if you played Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, you could play the game as Duke Nukem, who's probably still suffering from the colossal hangover that is the reputation damage caused by Duke Nukem Forever.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, but I don't even know where I am.
It's called the bargain bin, Duke.
What sort of party are you hoping to have tonight, Commander? I could set things up for quiet conversation, or would you prefer a more energetic evening?
I think it's time to blow off some steam.
Excellent choice, Commander. Allow me to queue up a series of popular nightclub tracks and drink lists.
A wise woman once sang, "We woke up in the kitchen saying, how the hell did this happen?" And if transcendental guru and good hair have a Beyonce isn't immune to a hangover, well, I guess there's no escaping them for the rest of us. And by us, I mean the crew of the Normandy SR2 off of Mass Effect.
Down here, lettuce. Are you a wizard?
In Mass Effect 3's delightfully fluffy Citadel DLC, your Shepard moves into a ritzy space station apartment and throws the party to end all parties.
160. Anyone counting? Miranda?
There's always one at the party, isn't there? The point is for you and your beloved crew members to take a break from saving the galaxy and blow off some steam, but it is a house party, so inevitably things get out of hand. Cut to the morning after, when it's time for hard partying Commander Shepard to pick his or her way through the wreckage of the night before.
I am going to die.
You find the Normandy's best and brightest suffering through New Year's Day grade hangovers, strewn around your new apartment like so many sacks of dehydrated, nauseous, regret-filled potatoes. They're waking up in not just the kitchen but all over the place and, like Queen Bey, asking how the hell did this shit happen? Alcohol. It was alcohol.
Your voice? Sir, not so loud. Please, thank you.
This would be fine if the only serious consequence was the depletion of the Normandy's supplies of bacon and eggs. But may we remind you, Normandy crew, that the survival of all sentient life in the Milky Way depends on our mission success. So this party will literally be the one to end all parties if you don't drink a pint of water, take a couple of aspirin, and walk it off.
So I've managed not to throw up. Feeling pretty good about that.
That said, the ultimate purpose of civilization is to produce a Beyonce, and it was all downhill from there, so I guess call in the Reapers. Time to harvest the galaxy. We're done here.
You live past 700. You start paying for a night like that the next morning.
Just gonna drop a little backdoor into the system so I can get back inside later. Sorry, Bloom. We've got unfinished business.
He's heading out. Bag him.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 tells the story of Marcus Holloway, a young meme-loving hacker who wants to join the hacking group DeadSec. Luckily, Marcus is the best. You can tell because during his initiation hacking mission, he only gets shot 6 or 7 times.
Suspect in trouble here!
And also somehow does this without breaking a spine.
Josh! Okay.
Thanks to this impressive act of hacktivism, Marcus is in. Unfortunately, what he's in to is DeadSec, a group of hackers made up entirely of unbearable hipsters you wouldn't want to get stuck talking to at a party.
Yo, your hot sauce? Yeah, man, I loved your frat house hat. Real talk.
What follows is the traditional DeadSec welcome of drinking heavily under the Golden Gate Bridge and making vague Banksy-esque statements about how the government is like bad and stuff.
All that data in the hands of the government? They'll arrest you for shit before you even do it.
Possibly there's more of the drinking heavily than the political statements, however, as before long, Marcus is blackout drunk and wakes up in an unfamiliar home, minus a lot of his memories of the night before.
Yo, whose place am I in?
Oh, and also his trousers. Sadly, even DeadSec frowns on their hackers not wearing trousers. I mean, unless they made it part of their gimmick, like you'd have to be called pantsless, but with like a 4 instead of an A, and you'd hack the Levi's website so that no one could buy jeans, and sorry, I'm getting off topic. Even DeadSec frowns on their hackers not wearing trousers, so the very first thing you have to do in the whole of your DeadSec hacktivist career is go to a clothes shop and buy yourself some new pants so you don't embarrass yourself in front of the other hackers, who, need I remind you, include a guy called Hort Sauce and another guy with an animated GIF for a face.
Hell yeah, man! Barbarians are at the gate and ready to bust some Roman heads.
Having to hang out with those guys, I'd also be drinking heavily.
Why did I join Mayhem? Seriously? You ask a question like that, I'm sure you get all kinds of answers, huh? Fighting the good fight, getting revenge, redeeming some past crime.
Hey, remember Agents of Mayhem? No, neither do I, and it was only released last year.
Savage!
It was a mercy killing. But after searching through our memories, a bit like you do after a night on the Source, it turns out that we did play Agents of Mayhem, and vaguely recall a mission called Operation the Morning After, which as it happens, involves you searching through your memories after a night on the Source.
Persephone, not so loud. Ugh. Work? Oh, Look, I had a rough night.
This particular mission is your introduction to hard-drinking roller derby player Daisy, a potential recruit to the Agents of Mayhem. Before she can join your team of playable characters though, it is vitally important that she work out what the hell happened last night.
Secure some brighter future. Maybe even chasing some fame. I bet you get all sorts of answers. Yeah, well, sorry to say, I'm just not that complicated.
Over the course of the mission, you'll tear across the futuristic city of Seoul, returning to the scene of the figurative and on one occasion very literal crime.
I think I may have committed a felony last night.
Complete every stage of the mission and you'll discover that Daisy's night involved harassing a sushi shop mascot for pizza.
Hey! Don't you sass me! I want my pizza!
Entering an underground robot fight club.
Are you ready to put your blood and or circuit boards on the line for the trophy of torment?
And art theft, which I can confirm is indeed a crime in the country of South Korea.
You owe me a Picasso, you asshole!
In fact, the only remaining mystery is how she managed to stay upright on roller skates while absolutely hammered. If Operation the Morning After all sounds a bit plot heavy for your liking in a game that is primarily about shooting things, don't worry, each of these revelations are interspersed with firefights. Although frankly, if we had a hangover, the last thing we'd want to do is fire a minigun. So loud.
Whoa! Thanks for watching this video. We've all had fun here today, and isn't that what we should be doing now in the few remaining days we have left before Krampus gets us all and beats us with his birch branches for our misdeeds throughout the year? Oh yeah, you all think it's a made-up thing, don't you? But when you're all being put into the brank by Krampus, then you'll all be, oh, we should have listened to Andy.
You've gone wrong.
Oh, sorry, you wanted me to talk about other videos you could watch. All right, fine. Let's watch more videos. Up here is a cocktail video from us where we made a Skyrim cocktail. That's in keeping with the theme of the video, isn't it? Down here is a video from Outside Extra, which is about games that alter your perception of reality. You see them everywhere. They call it the Tetris effect. So that's your final bit of knowledge to take to the grave when Krampus takes us all. Don't you silence me!